What's going on, guys? So we have meet prep starting up. Everything feels pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made in the off season. The biggest transition and kind of something that I want to talk about is, if you're going through a true hypertrophy phase, and that is, doing exercises in the 8 to 15 rep range and not really having a heavy load on your back or in your hands for quite some time, there is a bit of a transition period in going back into heavy lifting and getting heavier weight on your back, and it's not going to feel that great to begin with. But that doesn't mean necessarily that the work you've put in the off season is the wrong thing or didn't pay off. It just means that you need time to acclimate to the heavier weight again, and that a bigger muscle becomes a stronger muscle over time, not immediately into the next phase of training. So as you're planning out your training and as you're planning out your next meet and stuff, you want to take these things into consideration, knowing that there should be a time period where you cut off your hypertrophy training, and then there also should be a time period that allows you to transition from the hypertrophy into the heavy lifting, so that you have long enough to put in the work and to develop that strength over time, and let those muscles that you've just built work for you. So don't think that the program you did was garbage and that next off season you need to go heavier more often. That's going to be clearly a recipe for disaster, right? It doesn't matter what you do in training, how much weight you lift in training. I know the trend these days is to lift heavy, post it on Instagram, get a lot of likes, or doing stupid, silly shit, whatever you have going on. None of that matters to the really good lifters. The only thing that matters is what you do on the platform, and that should matter for everyone. There's a lot of lifters out there that are really popular that don't do shit on the platform and never have, and if you put their name in a database, you'll realize, dang, they haven't done anything for quite a long time, but they're really strong. But that doesn't mean anything. That just means they're lifting for show and they're not lifting to compete, right? I lift to be the best that I can be on meet day, so I'm not too worried about how the weights move or how things look. The main thing that I'm concerned with is, did I put in the work? Is the effort there? And did I work on the things that I suck at? Am I building on my weaknesses and progressing each week? If I'm progressing each week, and what you'll notice going from a hypertrophy phase to a strength phase to a peaking phase is that the first week the heavyweights may feel really heavy. The second week they'll start to feel lighter. The third week they'll feel lighter. The fourth week they'll feel lighter. And by the time you get into the fifth and sixth week, your strength has pretty much caught up with the new leverages and the new muscle that you built. So everything's going to be clicking all the way. So if you're going from a hypertrophy phase into a strength phase, give yourself a good 4 to 5 weeks of transition period, before you start to kind of second guess what you have going on. And even if that's the case, you don't really change anything. You just go with what you have and use lighter weights and build from there. And that's another thing that is difficult to do, is to go into a prep with the idea of, hey, this is what I'm going to hit on meet day, so this is what I need to hit during training, and forcing yourself to hit these numbers. If you've done it several times, like my training partner Sean has, where now he's able to say, this is what I want to hit on meet day, and then backtrack all the way into the beginning of meet prep, this is what I'm going to do each week. That works for him because he's put in 10 years and he's found out what works best for him. And I do something very similar to where I know what weights I need to hit, and that works for me, but that doesn't work for everyone. So you have to find what works best for you, utilize the things that you're good at, and use training to build confidence, right? You don't want to go into the gym, pick weights that you know you're not going to hit just because that's the plan you had, and then keep missing reps and keep missing lifts, and then you start to lose a ton of confidence, and you have issues on meet day because you set your expectations higher than your output. So just a few things to think about when you're transitioning from hypertrophy to a strength phase. So this is the beginning of meet prep. This is week 1 and 2. We are headed off to Phoenix. Kaylee's first show is this weekend, so I'll get some training in there, and that'll end week 2 of meet prep. So as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. I'm a killer, I'm a killing.